Hey man, what's up? It is the Micheals Show, brought to you live and in living color. Hello. Hey, if you ever want to be on the show, you can. All you have to do is call us. You can call us 702-540-3498. That'll get you on the show. You can also email us. You can email beonthebuzz. That's beonthebuzz at yahoo.com. You do not have to call and email, okay? And you do not have to call heavy breathing. You can just do one or the other, but we don't want all that activity. Anyway, my guest today is Amy Taylor, famous Amy Taylor. Woohoo! She's on the Ace Micheals Show today. Amy, how you doing, darling?
Great. How are you?
I've got no complaints.
California.
Yeah, are you in Southern California today?
Today I am. Yeah.
Woo-wee! Southern California is a lucky place to be. Wow. And what's going on in Southern California? Like 70 degrees, chilling, making movies?
Every day. We don't know what.
Right.
Because every day is 75 and sunny. It's
a rough life, man.
Somebody's got to do it. It doesn't suck. So.
You gotta love it. It's like people in Hawaii. So what are y'all doing today? Surfing, eating pineapples. Right. It's rough.
It's as you see in the movies. The beach is crowded.
Right.
It doesn't suck. Yeah, it's
not. Yeah, I would imagine it pretty much doesn't suck. So, Amy, you have a unique profession that I love people's professions, and I love to talk to people about what they do, no matter what they do. I love it. I love everybody's thing that they do, right? So you have a thing that you do. Tell us a little bit about it.
Thanks. I do a few things. I'm kind of a hyphenator, like a lot of...
Of course, yeah.
But the thing that people are probably most interested in is that I'm a high-end companion. High-end, I guess that sounds kind of snobby, right? I don't know. That
did come across a little snobby. Like come on now. High-end, come on now.
That's what they call it. I don't know what that really means, but I am a travel companion and a date for a select few.
Yeah.
And I make a living doing that.
Nice.
And have for a few years. It's actually pretty common, especially in big cities with a lot of beautiful women and wealthy men. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of one of those things that stays private, and I think because it's both ubiquitous and hidden, I think it's something that fascinates a lot of people. I think people don't think we're real, and I'm real, just a person.
Now, is it still called escorting?
Yeah.
Okay.
Word has been kind of tied up with the things that are against the law, like prostitution.
Yeah.
There are escorts that are prostitutes. There are escorts that are not. A lot of people use the word sex work to encompass escorts and prostitutes and strippers and dominatrices and companions and sugar babies. I think it's a semantics issue, and I don't know that I can speak for a huge group of hundreds of thousands of women and their millions of clients. So I don't claim to be any kind of an authority. Mm-hmm. There's people that have written books and given speeches that would probably know more on the semantics of the issue.
Sure.
But some of us don't love the word escort because that's just people just straight up say you're a hooker.
Right.
Hookers. I actually think some of the laws in this country need changing, need more tolerance, need more kindness. I have no problem with straight up exchanging sex for any kind of consent you want, as long as it's consent and not abuse. But the fact that escorting is not necessarily prostitution and is often not sex at all, I think makes a lot of escorts uncomfortable that the world just assumes that that's what's going on when that isn't necessarily the case. So it gets complicated when you want to put labels on things, right?
Now, what made you decide to start escorting?
So I was sort of interested in it in undergraduate. I went to college in the Bay Area, Northern California, and I had heard of it. Most big colleges have lots of girls doing that. That's pretty common.
Sure.
And respectful and harmless and fine. And I had friends. I actually had a sorority sister who was doing it. At the time, I didn't, but I guess I kind of shelved it away somewhere in the back of my head as something that was pretty interesting. And my first introduction to it was I met somebody who was not being coerced or harmed in any way. And so maybe for better or worse, what I thought of it was something that was pretty much perfectly fine. Not without problems, but also with benefits. And and then so later, I moved to Los Angeles, and I was in graduate school, and I already liked a little bit older, powerful, wealthy men. Who doesn't? And
I can't say that I do, but that's
okay, not you.
That's a whole nother show. But yeah.
You do, and you're in grad school, so you're super broke, and you're in your 20s, and guys really like you, right? So it seemed sort of the perfect mix of thing, and that's when I was single and maybe lonely and bored and broke, and it kind of filled lots of needs, and so that's when I decided to actually go ahead and try it myself.
Now, see, for me, like, I will always remember my first on-stage experience. My palms were sweaty. I had so much sweat, like, in between my legs. Like, I was scared, but I was excited. What was your first escorting experience like?
Yeah, similar. I mean, stage would terrify me, so, kudos to you. I've never been much of a stage person. This is a little bit scary for me, frankly. So that's awesome that you could do it. I would cry and run off stage. No. But I was both scared and excited. I was hopeful that I could have a great time and hopefully make somebody happy, because then they would see me again, which would be great financially, but also that I'd have a nice time. I was, lonely too, like most human beings are. And sure, I was scared of all the potential bad things that could happen, but I had done my best with my little brain to minimize the possibility of that. You can probably never make it zero, but I did the best I could. And again, for better or worse, it worked out great. I had a lovely evening, and when I went home late at night, I thought I had found some sort of life hack. And
that's
I
interesting.
Was, what? Like, this is great. So then, the rest is history. But I had a fabulous evening with a fabulous person who I still know.
Wow.
With, and who is a wonderful person. The world may judge that person and me, but they'd be wrong.
Now, see, that's what I was going to ask you about next. Like, I'm sure you can't tell us who your clients are, but who are the clients usually, I guess is the best way to put it. Like, are they married men, single men, rich men, powerful men, Republicans? You know what I mean? Like, what are we working with here? You know what I'm saying?
So, again, I can't speak for all companions or other people in the overarching sort of intimacy, sex work world, if you want to use that phrase. But mine, yes, they're usually white guys. They're usually between 40 and 70. Most are Republicans, which is funny. They come from typically more conservative backgrounds.
Interesting.
And then their behavior is less conservative. Maybe that adds thrill to it, that their public persona is so conservative and their private...
I'm sure, yeah.
But it's not my job to argue politics with them. They know my politics. I know theirs. Some of us agree to disagree. My clients have been about half married, half single. But that's because I travel with a lot of people. Those men tend to be more often single so that they can get away with somebody like me. I think if you're an escort who hangs out with men for sort of a shorter time, probably more married men, I suspect. That's what I hear in our communities when we women chat about business issues. They have kids, typically. They have pretty powerful careers. They travel a lot. They're lonely. They do have a lot of money. Everybody I've ever known made at least several $100,000 a year, if not more, which can be really intimidating. You get used to it and then try to remember that it's their life, not yours. And they're just nice people who want to have a nice time. They're pretty petrified of these relationships in the beginning, too, because they have a lot to lose. And so I view it as a kind of sacred trust. I'm trying to just earn a living, adding some fun to a complicated life. A lot of them are finding an imperfect solution to a complicated problem of not having the complete, enjoyable life that they want. And I'm not sure what a better solution would be. I suspect there really isn't one to a complex problem. Then that's why people like me have existed for all of human history.
Yeah.
But all I want is to cause them no drama and have a good time and hopefully have a nice time myself too. And, they're just normal guys, you know?
Yeah, and now, Amy, let me say, I mean, I think you're probably the best looking cookie in the bag, too. I mean, you're a very attractive girl. You're very intelligent. I could see, going on a date with you, but I can't afford to go on a date with you if I need $300,000. So has some client ever fallen for you? Like someone, obviously they're spending time with you, they're going to get to know you, and then next thing you know, Cupid, what was that?
So, yeah, that has happened. Sometimes it's ended with a little bit of drama, like any sort of breakup would. It's still a breakup, even if it's in an arrangement. And emotions do get involved. So, yeah, sure. A couple of times that's happened, and both times that it happened to me, it was better that we didn't see each other anymore. I'm still friendly with the two that I can think of right now. But no, we don't hang out anymore. I don't know if they see someone new. That might be a good solution. They say, best way to get over somebody, get underneath someone else.
Is that what they say? Who are they? I want to know if they came up with that. I want to know whoever came with that. That's good. I like that.
But I know escorts who've married their clients. I know several who met them as clients and now they're married and they've been married for ages.
Awkward. Okay.
It happens.
Yeah.
They're happy. I mean, judge not lest ye be judged, right? I mean,
did you ever fall for a client?
There's a couple that don't see me anymore that I really wish they would. I don't know. I do a good job and be nice, and maybe they got bored of me. Maybe they wanted something different.
I could say that about anybody.
I'm putting sort of the proverbial spanks on my real personality when I'm being hired. I'm, being really happy and perky and certainly trying to be pretty and, I'm not always that way at home. So were they to fall in love with the real Amy, they might be sorely disappointed with what they would actually get. Because it's not that you're lying. It's not that you aren't who you are, but, it's sort of a version of yourself. And maybe they're presenting a version of themselves too. So whatever I might miss in those two men that don't hire me anymore, maybe that isn't the real them either. Maybe whatever I fell in love with wasn't who they were. I don't know. I'm not sure.
So what is it that you like about escorting, Amy?
So many things. I like my freedom, so I decide everything. I'm in charge. I'm a little CEO of a one-person company, if you will, and I like that. I've always been a bit headstrong, and nobody's going to tell me what I'm going to do with my one short, brief, precious life. So I like that. I like meeting different people. I like traveling. And then the luxury part is pretty cool. Who doesn't like private jets and great food? I mean, I'll never be in that life permanently, but it's neat to kind of dip my toe in that pool and see what that world is like. I think it provides a lot of benefits. Just not without its costs.
Right, and so then the obvious question is, look, so what's the weirdest thing you've ever been done or asked to do or been done around you?
That I can tell you?
Perimeter, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, what was it?
Okay, well, so there's some stuff I'm not going to tell you, or the world, but the weirdest one I can tell you, oh boy. My email, the things I've been asked that I have not done are far weirder. That's, you name it. It's every perverted thing you've ever
like thought. Everything, like you name it, like even with an imagination like mine, that's still far out?
Oh no, you might trump them all. I'm not sure.
Wow.
But you get those really super creepy emails, and those people come nowhere near me, thank God.
Okay.
But the weirdest one I ever did, I learned about erotic hypnosis. Hey, world, Google that if you don't know what it is, and you'll spend a while reading, and then you might be mad at me for alerting you to the business. But some people like to pretend to be hypnotized, and that is a sort of fun and sexy experience for them.
Sure. I could kind of see that. Like on a kind of a weird Bill Cosby kind of level, I could see that there's like a kink out there for that. Sure, I get that. So do people ask you to do stuff like, let me see how I can phrase this. What sort of person do you have to be to order an escort?
Well, if my sample size represents most clients, I think you've got to be to some degree adventurous, right? Because
Yeah.
taking a trip and meeting a stranger, and that can always go badly. I've heard hilarious stories from clients about when it didn't go that well and they extricated the very situations. So you gotta be looking for kind of an adventure, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people need a steam valve. They need to have fun. You're never gonna take that away from people. They need it. If you probably need some spare cash, you have to have enough confidence to call up or email some hot chick off the internet and assume that she's going to be okay meeting you. So you got to have a little swagger. So I think the guys who do the best with escorts are guys who are funny, they're extroverted, they like meeting new people, they got some confidence on how they can handle a date. They enjoy dating. They enjoy the whole thing of dating. And then to make an escort happy, you probably want to be like clean, well groomed, all these other things, you know.
Right.
Anything that women like, right? It's the same stuff. We're just women. It's the same.
It's the same, except at the end of the situation, there's going to be some money, probably at the beginning. There's money probably at the beginning. I don't know this, but I think it works like this. I think you pay up front, and then as you go, you might have a nice gift or a nice exchange. And at the end, if you're happy, you're going to say, hey, I'm happy, I'm taking off. But I left you a little something under the pillow, like a nice little see you again next time type of thing. So then, because we're in America, my guests and my listeners would want me to ask you, how much money do you make? Like, this is about money. So how much money do you make?
I do okay. I think I'm not going to give you guys my 1040 from this year.
Right.
But it's a lot of work. It's not just the hours that you're seeing clients. There's a lot of online work. There's a lot of emails. You answer 10,000 emails to meet one really nice guy.
Really?
Or at least I do. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's there's a lot of work that goes into the fun.
Wow.
The job itself is sort of not like work. But so I don't know if I translate it back. I mean, I don't make minimum wage if you add up all those hours and how much income, but you end up making what like a healthcare professional makes. And I think some girls might make more. I don't have anybody else's tax returns, so I don't know.
Yeah. But what if, for example, what are your out-of-pocket costs? Like, do you have to have a Jaguar and a puppy and a mink and sunglasses? You know what I'm saying? Like, you go to 10.
He's somewhere over here. I have to have a puppy. But no, I mean, you probably want to look a little bit like a high-class girl if you're rolling into high-class places. So you're going to need a wardrobe. Think of like that old movie, My Fair Lady. You're going to need to look, you're going to need some Armani and some Gucci. And that doesn't mean that's what you wear on your off days. Trust me, I don't.
Right.
I can afford that. You want to have a decent car because you're rolling up to, the FBO where the private jets leave and the Four Seasons and places that you don't want to have a broken down old, anything. And you want good haircuts and good dental care and good skin care. So you're spending on yourself like a rich girl to match that persona. Because at least for me, you're also dating wealthy men, and that is what they're used to. The women in their lives are polished women that are well-groomed, well-dressed, wealthy women. So you want to fit in with them. If you look like some little raggedy thing, they're going to be uncomfortable. Match, right? What they like.
I love that little raggedy thing.
I don't know.
I'm actually attracted to little raggedy things, and I take great offense to that. My last girlfriend was a little raggedy thing. Whatever happened to her
was super sweet, working class. I mean, I should have married that one. But
right.
It's just about who you're serving. You're trying to adapt to the person you're serving. The more comfortable your customer in any business, the happier they'll be. So if that's what they want, if it isn't what they want, then fine. But then there's out-of-pocket costs like photo shoots and websites and advertising. Social media is kind of killing paid advertising right now, but I think that's a temporary transition. There are ad costs. And then everything else is just normal life, cost that. So the expenses of, some girls shoot pretty elaborate like photo shoots and video shoots, and I've seen shoots on private jets and helicopters, and I mean, I suspect those productions can get pretty expensive.
Right.
Imagine. I've never done it. So you have a fairly big overhead. Oh, of course, screening and background searches and all of that costs money, and your life depends on those things. So those are sort of the costs of goods sold, right?
Right. So that's kind of a must-do thing. Now, I mentioned earlier that we're Americans, and so, you know, here in America we have this huge double standard about women and their own empowerment. We just had this movie Wonder Woman where basically didn't really show much about empowerment. It just showed that, hey, girls could kick your ass too and look good while they do it. But as far as real empowerment, it didn't really touch on anything. We just had a political fiasco election that we could have had a female president, but we never did that either. So when it comes to being an escort, how do you think escorting fits into the ideal of feminism or female empowerment?
That's a tough one for me because we hear a lot from the feminist community that we're harming women, that we are teaching women, that we are teaching men to be entitled to access to beauty, sexuality, sensuality, attention, affection, because we sell those things. Obviously, I want to disagree with that. I don't think that we're some sort of scab in the union line of women. I think we're just trying to survive, like every other woman and man. So while of course I believe in feminism, which the definition of that is female equality, I don't believe in male bashing. I don't think the solution to feminism is to denigrate men. Men have it hard too. We tell men that their lives matter less. They go to war and they do all the physically brutal jobs like coal mining and construction that ruin your body when you're old. And I mean, we don't have it that great either. Everybody's got it tough. So in terms of gender roles, empowerment and feminism, I'd like to see all women survive in whatever way they want. If they want to be an escort, great. If you want to be a surgeon, great. You want to be a housewife, great. I think the key is choice, and the more we let people choose their gender identity, I think that's the true definition of empowerment, is everybody gets to live the full expression of a human life in a way that they find satisfying. And so my answer to rabid feminists that hate escorts is that if you really believe in women's right to choose their expression of a full human life, then you should support mine, because I'm okay. I'm happy. I like my choices. Doesn't mean you would, doesn't mean somebody else would, but let me live my female life as I see it.